The year 2025 has been marked by profound loss as iconic Americans left us, their echoes lingering in music halls, on television screens, in political chambers, and in our hearts. It began with a seismic jolt. The world awoke to the news that Brian Wilson, the creative genius behind the Beach Boys, had passed away on June 11th at 82. His voice, at once soaring and vulnerable, paved the soundtrack of a generation. Melodies like Good Vibrations and the ethereal harmonies of Pet Sounds defined summer and redefined popular music. Born into fame, yet haunted by profound personal struggles, Wilson's journey was as complex as his ingenious compositions. In his wake, we feel the weight of a bittersweet symphony, sweet because of the music he gifted us, bitter because his life was often overshadowed by inner turmoil. Indeed, his death leaves us pondering creativity's intertwined fragility and brilliance. People. Comyet Wilson was not alone among the soundtrack makers we said farewell to this year. Just 2 days earlier, Sly Stone, Sylvester Stewart, passed at 82. The frontman of Sly and the Family Stone forged a bridge from rock to soul, with songs like Everyday People and Dance to the Music. They didn't just echo cultural shifts, they fueled them with rhythm, unity, and unapologetic funk. The Guardian. His albums, most notably Stand and There's a Riot Going On, were sonic landmarks, shaping counterculture and influence. Still, behind the glamour lay personal battles, addiction, isolation, creative droughts. His return to public life was sporadic. His passing reminds us that even the most vibrant souls can drift into obscurity. Music lost another soul on June 5th with Wayne Lewis, co-founder of Atlantic Starr. At 68, he left behind hits like Always and Secret Lovers, timeless anthems of romance and longing. Atlantic Starr's soulful textures and heartfelt lyrics have soundtracked countless love stories. Lewis's untimely departure stirred fans to revisit the band's discography, each track serving as a toe-tapping, bittersweet remembrance. Notable too are those whose names may not resonate in concert halls, but whose cultural footprints are equally deep. On June 11th, Ananda Lewis, the vibrant MTV VJ, who used her platform to amplify youth voices and tackle social taboos, passed at 52 after a brave battle with stage 40 breast cancer. She broke molds, transparent about her diagnosis, her regret at avoiding mammograms, her decision to explore alternative treatment routes. In publicly sharing her journey, she saved lives, creating loops between influence and action, vulnerability and prevention. That reminder that speaking out matters echoes far beyond her on-screen presence. We also lost Terry Louise Fisher on June 10th. At 79, she left behind a legacy of storytelling, co-creating legal drama, A Near Law, writing for Cagney and Lacey. Winning 3 Emmys, her work pioneered nuanced voices of strong women in television, characters who shaped viewers' understanding of justice, ethics, identity. That same day, character actor Harris Yulin died at 87, with more than 100 roles that anchored films like Scarface and Ghostbusters: The Sign, television and theatre. His face might have been familiar, even when his name wasn't, and his impact more noticeable in ensemble cast than marquee lights. Yulin reminds us, the roots of powerful narratives grow in supporting soil. Foreman's second act, hooking youth on sport, delivering motivational sermons, building a grill empire, ensured his punch resonated far beyond the ring. Emerging as a child star and weaving through adolescent and mature roles, she captured the hearts of miles of viewers. Her death, still shocking, reminds the industry and audience alike that fame doesn't safeguard against fragility. Joining them is David Lynch, the visionary director of Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, and cult cinema that indelibly altered storytelling. His surreal blended reality and dreamscapes in narrative loops that challenged, fascinated, and confused. In the best way, his passing uncovers a narrative of creative risk and uncompromising vision. We should also reflect on Gene Hackman, who passed at 95 as the talented star from The French Connection and multitudes of classics. His charisma, intensity, chameleon-like performances reminded us how an actor can vanish into character. His departure requires us to revisit performances that defined decades of film. Nostalgic laughs now echo in empty spaces with the loss of Loretta Swit, May 30th, 87, Margie Margaret Hot Lips from MASH, and George Wendt, May 20th, 76, Norm from Cheers. Their roles reminded TV audiences that humor and humanity are enduring companions. The bar is quiet now without Norm's beer. The hospital tents dim without Hot Lips' sharp resolve. We also honor the lesser spoken whose pages shaped our world. Joe Don Baker at 89, a compelling presence in Walking Tall, Edge of Darkness, and the James Bond universe. Daniel Williams, the drummer of The Devil Wears Prada, lost tragically in a plane crash on May 22nd at 33, talent cut short mid-beat. Pippa Scott at 90, whose golden age acting and lifelong activism remind us of storytelling's power on screen and society. Norman Charles Miller, Pulitzer-winning journal journalist, at 90, a guardian of truth in its purest form. Charles Rangel at 94, legendary Harlem congressman, war veteran, social justice advocate, whose life traced arcs of American history. Loop back to Wilson and Stone. The music they made is still spun on vinyl, streamed in cars and headphones. Their deaths form a frame around that timeless sound. Kebabs of memory, nostalgia, pain, and pride interweave their legacies. This year has been a montage of distinct lives. Champions, artists, storytellers, activists. The loops of their influence, like Rangel's fight for equity, Lewis's soulful voice in TV, Fisher's empowered scripting of legal drama, have made room for those who follow. Their echoes loop through new voices. A teenager hearing Stand for the first time. A young viewer inspired by an episode of L.A. Law. A survivor spurred to get a mammogram after Ananda's candid admission. Their lives prompt us to look inward. What are loops I leave behind? What legacies am I building and passing forward? The year's losses urge us to action, not just remembrance. Will we speak up, write, serve, laugh, love? These loops can sustain beyond our lifetimes. So here, yes, a final act. Let S honor these legends by listening again. Play Wilson S harmonies and Stone S grooves. Rewatch Sweet's MASH, Wentz Cheers. Share Michelle's performances with someone who didn't catch them the first time. Go further, engage. Write an op-ed. Volunteer in your community. Let your actions loop outward. Donate to cancer screening. Support mental health programs. Advocate for media that uplifts young voices like Ananda's. Vote consciously. Embrace issues that guided Rangel, Fisher, Miller. We can't rewind to before their deaths, but we can loop forward their impact. Every song played, every episode streamed, every service given amplifies their legacies. That's how we keep their light shining, through living, loving, and believing that one life shapes many. This is more than a memorial. It's a movement. It's breathing in and out, memory and action. It's our turn to leave echoes. So take one step today. Share a tribute, donate, speak up. Let the loops begin anew with you. Thank you for witnessing this journey. Let's keep living stories worth remembering.